Hello there, students. I hope that you are doing great. Today we are going to explain the passive voice, which is a lesson in module number 4. So let's start. When do we use the passive voice? We use the passive voice when we want to focus more on the action or the object than the subject. We want to know what really happened. That's what matters for us, right? Not the doer of the action. Number 2, when we don't know who did the action, right? The doer of the action is anonymous. So these are two cases in which we can use the passive voice. Very good. So let's start with this example. Please have a look at this picture here. We have a thief here and a bag of money. So the thief stole the money, okay? The subject is the thief, the verb stole, and the object is the money. Question here is, what happened to the money? Okay, now we are here focusing on what happened, right? On the action, right? Which is stealing money, right? So the sentence will be, the money was stolen by the thief. Let's have a look at this sentence. Okay, the subject is the money, right? In the first sentence, the subject was the thief and the money was the object, but in the second sentence we have the money as a subject. Okay, and now we added the verb was, right? Verb to be in the simple past. We also put the verb stole in the past participle, which becomes stolen. Now, why did we add the verb to be in the simple past, not the simple present? Because we have the verb in the active sentence or in the original sentence in the simple past. So the thief stole the money is in the active voice, and the money was stolen by the thief is in the passive voice, right? Now let's study this again, right? Okay, again, the active voice is the thief stole the money. The passive voice, the money was stolen by the thief. Okay, so the subject is thief, the verb is stole, and the money is of course the object of the active sentence. So here are the changes that we are going to have. The money, which is the object in the first sentence, becomes the subject of the passive voice of the passive sentence, and the subject of the active sentence becomes the object of the passive sentence, and the verb is changed into the past participle, and we add the verb to be in the simple past. Why? Because the verb here is in the simple past. If the verb here is in the simple present, here it should be is or are. Okay? Now, how do we form the passive voice? Number 1, we start the sentence with the object of the active sentence. Right? The money here becomes the subject of the passive sentence. Okay. Number 2, we add the verb to be, that it should be conjugated in the tense of the active sentence. The tense in the active sentence here is the past, so the verb to be here should be in the past. Very good. Number 3, add the past participle of the main verb. So here is the main verb, right? We should add the past participle because the verb here is stole. It is an irregular verb. The past participle of stole is stolen. Okay, right? The last thing, right, the last step, sometimes we add by plus the subject of the active sentence, by the thief, like what we have here. All right, okay. Now, let's see another example, which is in the simple past. Now, I would like you to guess the passive form, right, okay, of this sentence. Hemingway, this is the guy, this is Hemingway, he's an American writer, wrote The Old Man and the Sea. This is a wonderful novel that, by the way, I advise you to read. Okay, Hemingway wrote The Old Man and the Sea, right? So we should start by what? By, very good, by the object, which is the old man and the sea. And the sentence becomes, the old man and the sea was, here we added the verb to be in the simple past because here the verb is in the simple past. Written by whom? By Hemingway. Very good. Now let's see the other tenses. Now we have just been focusing on the simple past. Let's have a look at the other sentences while using the same example, right? Let's start with the simple present. Leila feeds an animal. So these are in the active, and so let's see. Leila feeds an animal becomes an animal is fed by Layla. Very good. Present continuous. Layla is feeding an animal. An animal is being fed by Layla. Present perfect. Layla has fed an animal. An animal has been fed by Layla. In the simple past, Layla fed an animal. An animal was fed by Layla. In the past continuous, Layla was feeding an animal. An animal was being fed by Layla. In the past perfect, Layla had fed an animal. An animal had been fed by Layla. Correct? The simple future, Layla will feed an animal. An animal will be fed by Layla. The future perfect, Layla will have fed an animal. An animal will have been fed by Layla. And of course with the modal verbs, right? They are the same, like can, should, must, have to, might, may, etc. Layla can feed an animal. An animal can be fed by Layla, right? This is the passive voice of all the tenses, right? These are the transformations from the active to the passive in all the tenses. Please have a look at them, right? You can stop the video for a while, pause the video for a while, and have a look at these, and have a look at the table. Now let's move on. Yes, let's do some practice. Okay, I would like you to rewrite the following sentences using the passive voice. You might want to pause the video for 5 minutes or so to do the exercise. Okay, and then play the video again so that you can see the correction. All right, I suppose by now that you have done the exercise. Very good, students. So let's correct. Number 1, the cat ate my breakfast. It becomes my breakfast was eaten by the cat. Very good. Germany defeated Brazil in the last World Cup. Brazil was defeated by Germany in the last World Cup. Number 3, the maid cleans the house every day. The house is cleaned by the maid every day. Ahmed has washed the car. The car has been washed by Ahmed. Sarah is making a cake at the moment. A cake is being made by Sarah at the moment. All right, this is it. And thank you very much for your attention.